Now we need to have a discussion, you and I, car enthusiasts, because for the last 10 years we've been doing everything pretty wrong. Because whenever we want to buy a car, the first thing we look at is obviously what the car looks like, and that's a good thing. But after that, we quickly find ourselves going through a spec sheet or watching a YouTuber or a video or reading a magazine where we look at numbers. And this is where the problem starts, because you look at those numbers, let's say the 0 to 100 kilometer time, or the quarter mile time if you're into that, or even the MPG, or how much mileage it gets on a single tank, and if it's an electric car, what's the mileage on that. And to be frank, most car manufacturers lie about those numbers, but we still take them into consideration when buying a car. But what we don't take into consideration is the intangibles, how a car makes you feel. And I think that's more important than the actual numbers themselves, which is a perfect segue to what we're driving today. The Abarth 595 Scorpioneoro. This is a Fiat 500 that's been modified by Fiat's in-house tuner Abarth. Think AMG for Mercedes or BMW's M division. Abarth started in 1949 making aftermarket exhaust systems and later on took on the role of completely overhauling Fiat's vehicles, giving them more power, improved handling, and a better soundtrack. This 595 Black Scorpion is no different. But before I get to the things that are great about this car, I think I need to get the things that aren't so great out of the way. For example, this is a 2022 car with no rear view camera. I don't think I've ever reviewed a car that isn't a classic that doesn't have a rear view camera. Another odd thing is the gearbox. This car comes with what they call a 5-speed robotized manual automatic. I don't know the technical terms of how that works, but I know how it feels, and it feels like there's someone depressing the clutch and changing the gear for me. It's like the manual gearbox is still here. It's just a robot inside doing what I would love to do. Thankfully, you can get it with a manual, and I probably get that as it is a little bit more or a lot more engaging. And the third thing is the seating position, because the seats are quite comfortable. They're not very supportive up top because of their shape, but I don't really mind that. What I do mind is the fact that I'm sitting so up high, and it almost feels like I'm disconnected with the car itself. It feels like I'm in an SUV driving position in a tiny car. But all of those things you get used to, because Abarth here in Dubai has given me this car for more than a day. Actually, it's 5 days, and after the first day, I just kind of let all of those things go, because this car is the most fun thing you can have and enjoy every day. The Black Scorpion is in essence a gimmick, with only cosmetics being the main difference between its readily available counterparts within Abarth. A deep black paint job and gold touches set the tone of this mini beast. Personally, it really works for me. A black matte checkered flag on the roof, the gold scorpion on the bonnet, the inscriptions at the back, the gold stripe on the side, and gold wheels really make it feel special. Add to that the fact that there will only be 50 of these 2022 limited edition cars for the Middle East, and things start to get really interesting. Especially when there's less of these than the new Lamborghini Countach or the Ferrari Monza. It's also a fraction of the price, as it starts at 140,000 dirhams, which is an absolute bargain. And it's a bargain mainly because of the engine. It has a 1.4 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that develops 1,000,000 horsepower. 1,000,000! It has to be. The way this thing moves and swerves around traffic. Honestly, when you get an expensive supercar, the only thing you can think of is to get out of town. However, with a car like this, The city is your playground. I mean, it only gets to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.9 seconds, and by any standards, when you look at sports cars these days, and even regular cars, that isn't much. But when you think about how it achieves that speed and how it goes through corners and how it really handles any sort of normal daily commute, it completely changes the way you look at something like this. Other upgrades Abarth made include a fully revised suspension that's low and very firm but keeps the car composed during spirited driving. The 17-inch wheels are wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport tires for huge amounts of grip, and behind them are 4-piston Brembo brakes, which are fantastic on normal cars but really shine on the tiny Abarth that weighs in just over 1,000 kilograms. Inside, it's very sporty and more practical than I thought, with 4, albeit shallow, cup holders, huge pockets on the big doors, and a decent-sized glove box. The whole interior is dark and sporty with leather seats with Scorpioneoro embroidered in the headrest, and a wonderful Alcantara leather carbon fiber steering wheel, and even a leather manual handbrake. As you would expect, the back seats are a squeeze. The boot offers 185 liters of space. Pack light if you're going out of town. We are now in the desert, and it's time to talk about the most important button in this car, which has a scorpion on it. It doesn't even say anything, it's just a scorpion. And once you press that button, the dash changes and the boost gauge says a big sport in the middle, which you could, by the way, you can still see even when you're not in sport mode. It just lights up. It looks much more impressive when you do that at night. And this is where this car completely transforms. Let me show you. I have a G meter and it's not giving me any relevant information. It's just letting me know that the weight is going that way while I am going forward. It is so good, this car. First of all, the steering gets a lot heavier and is aggressive to center back to its original position. The throttle pedal no longer allows you to maintain speed but pushes you to go faster. The Abarth shifts later, driving up to the rev range and automatic mode, but switch it to manual and use the paddle shifters to have total control over the feisty Scorpion. It completely transforms the car. Honestly, it feels like a mini rocket ship, especially when you have a little playground with tons of corners. The combination of just the right amount of go, a short wheelbase, and a well-sorted suspension setup allows you to drive out the rev range without hitting speeds that instantly send you to jail and get your precious new vehicle impounded. Whoa. And it does a little pop on the upshift. Cars like this bring so much joy, and unfortunately this car is on its way out. Not sure how many years left it has with an internal combustion engine. Abarth has confirmed that they will be making fully electric ones. I'm gonna miss that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you loved it, make sure to smash that like button. It helps out the channel a lot, as well as comment down below what you think of the Abarth 595 and of this concept in general. Should we start buying more with our hearts, or should we stick to the specifications? And finally, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button as well, so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.